So the next thing I'd like to do is talk a little bit about other ways you can enhance and improve your immune system. One of the things I'd like you to do is, in a minute, we're going to think about how you view your immune system. In your mind, what's the unconscious metaphor you have for when you think about it? So you may go, oh, it's like a rusty train, or it's like a slow old dog with arthritis, or it's like a top athlete. I don't know. We're going to ask you that in a minute, but the reason I want you to think about that is there's some really interesting research in how our immune system is affected by all sorts of things. So meditation is a good example. Long-term meditators, been shown, Richard Davison did some really interesting studies. Long-term meditation changes your immune system function. Compassion changes your immune system function. And some really interesting studies. Again, you may want to check out my Mind-Body Connection podcasts to listen to some of these researchers. That's free on iTunes. Go and check it out. Phil Parker, Mind-Body Connection podcast. But really interesting studies into placebo. So, for instance, if you give someone a irritant and you paint it onto their hand with their permission, obviously, it goes red, and then you say to them, look, we're going to put some special medicine on it that is going to knock that back and make it all calm again. Okay, but in fact you're lying, the medicine contains nothing. When you put the medicine on it, the pretend medicine, the skin will go pale again instead of being red, the temperature will reduce, and the activity of the basophils, which are part of the immune system, will settle down. Just listening to the instructions. There's nothing in the actual medicine. It's purely because you said this will make it better. In this particular study, they also said to them, another set of participants, they said, this, when we put, so they put the irritant on, they said, we're going to put this stuff on you, this medicine, it will make it worse. Guess what happened? It made it worse. So our immune systems are really sensitive to the things that we are told. So in this case, what researchers or doctors tell us, but equally the things we say to ourselves. So if we have a kind of conversation going on that's not even using words, but we, in our mind, when we think about our immune system, we think, oh, it's a bit clunky, or it's a bit dodgy, or it's a bit broken. It's almost like we're constantly drip feeding this conversation saying my immune system is not very well functioning, and that probably is not very good for you. If an external person is saying to you, this medicine will make things worse, if you're saying to yourself, my immune system's a bit dodgy, a bit ropey, then that will have an effect too. So, first thing to do, just take a few minutes, think about your immune system. So, if you're not familiar with that term, just go, the bit that keeps me well, that fights off bugs, the bit that's in charge of taking care of my health. What does that look like? If I was to draw a picture of it, what would it be? If you can put comments down, although my comments are not really showing up at the moment for some reason, let me just try and refresh that. If you can put comments down there, that would be brilliant. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, there we go, it's coming up now. Fabulous. So yeah, if you would like to add your descriptions when you think about your immune system, the bit of you that keeps you well, what does that look like? Let's find out. Back to this. What do I have to do to get more comments? I wonder if I have to go out each time. Okay, great, there we go. My immune system is like graphene. It's flexible and strong. Wow. Fizzy sparkles. I like that. Anyone got anything not quite as magical? So I have to constantly refresh this to see. Blue, a strong fountain. Strong white root system through my body. Very good. So, whatever it is, just ask yourself, okay, would I like this to be better? Would I like this to be stronger? Would I like this to be more robust? Would I like the colour to be different? And then, again, just close your eyes. I'm going to make the magic happen with the music, I hope. Go on, music, you can do it. I have to click on it. Hold on just a second. It doesn't look like it's going to work this time. Oh, there it is. So what I'd like you to do is to do another technique. This is called the peripheral vision technique. It's a really brilliant, easy, simple technique to do. Kids love it, so feel free to teach it to them. But again, not if your children are driving dangerous machinery, which they shouldn't be doing anyway. So all you need to do for this particular exercise is to think about anything that's bugging you or bothering you. Or if it's your immune system, just hold in your mind whatever you're thinking about your immune system currently. Notice what it feels like. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to turn this way. I think that will help best. Okay. So this is our normal eye level. What I'd like you to do is just point your eyes up about 45 degrees, okay? If you've got a spot to stare at, that would be great. And breathe. So you're looking up slightly and you're breathing. It's always good to breathe. Then what I'd like you to do is take your fingers, wiggle your fingers. Hopefully nobody's watching you at this point. And move your fingers slightly backwards until you can't see them anymore. Or you can just about see them. Now what I don't want you to do is turn your head or to turn your eyes. You want to keep looking straight ahead, because what we're doing is we're using what's called your peripheral vision. So we mostly look here, but we are aware. So as I sit here, I can see my face, gorgeous and handsome as I am, but I'm also aware of the light shining at me, the window over there. I'm not aware of the microphone, I just hear. There's bits of information that I'm aware of peripherally, but I'm not entirely focused on. And that's the bit we want to use, because when you focus on your peripheral vision, the outside bit of your vision, it changes the way your brain functions, calms things down. So we're going to look up about 45 degrees, wiggle your fingers until you can barely see them. Just keep your attention in that area. You can let your hands drop if you want, but keep your attention in this area without directly looking at it. Just keep your attention there. Breathe in 3 or 4 times. Still thinking about that thing, but you'll find the way you're thinking about it becomes different just from being in this particular position and having your attention focused in your periphery. And now, having breathed in 3 or 4 times, just bring yourself back to the room and just notice, how's that changed what your immune system looks or feels like? To find you guys answers, I need to just refresh this. So we've got lots of great examples of what the immune system looks like a boxer, like a shield, like lots of little white orbs that are glittery and shiny. There are hundreds of them and they multiply, like 2 Y's joined together, Mary says. This is from David Hamilton, I believe. There are some studies about, I think it's about IgA, about building your immune system. It's the fat controller just gently ensuring things go smoothly. Loads of little soldiers, excellent. It's more settled and calm and strong as a result of doing that. Zingy, very good. Now just by doing this, taking your attention to the periphery, it allows your brain to process that information in a slightly different way, slightly disassociates you from it. And that different way of thinking seems to allow us to access different resources. It's very good if you're interested for kids, particularly kids with hyperactive issues. It helps them to stay focused. But it's also very good for processing on a different level. So, I'm going to do one more exercise in a minute, but if there are any questions, now would be a fabulous time to ask. I have to refresh this because it's not self-refreshing. Let's have a look. Okay, no questions at the moment. So if you do have any questions, drop them down there. I will continue with an exercise I'd like to take you through. So what I'd like you to do is just take a few moments to flow back in time to a time when you felt happy or healthy or relaxed or energized or vital or vibrant. Just a time that for you really encapsulates a time of health. And what's interesting about health is very often we don't think about our health until we don't have it. You know, we kind of forget about wellness until we're ill. Just getting a few questions through here. But I'd like you to think now about a time about when you must have been healthy because of what you were doing. Maybe it's a time when you're dancing on the tables, drinking shots of vodka. Maybe it's a time when you're climbing mountains. Or maybe it's just a time where you're out having a walk with your friends, or down the pub, or whatever it is that you do, where you just kind of go, oh yeah, I was really healthy then because I was just being me, just getting on with life. Allow yourself to start to fill in some of the details of this. And the easiest ways to do this is to think about, what did you see? What do you see? Because you really want to be back in that place now. What do you see? What are you aware of? What can you hear? What do you feel? What's your body feel like? What's your voice sound like? What's the lighting like? How does this feel to be here now? Breathe that feeling in. Really connect with that feeling. It doesn't really matter how deeply you connect with it. The deeper the better, but just thinking about that time will be enough to start to stimulate those neurotransmitters and those changed hormones in your body. That's all you need to do. One of the questions I often ask people is, considering we have so many memories, we all have millions of memories. Some of them are really positive, some of them not so. Which ones do we swim around in most of the time? Well, unfortunately not the good ones. Or we don't spend enough time accessing those good memories. Instead we're just thinking about, did I let the cat out, or I've got to go shopping, or stuff. When actually maybe we need to focus on some good moments. So if you have a good moment that you can easily access, just pop it down in the notes. It'd be really good to see what people are saying. There's one time I remember I'll tell you about, which is I was in the Mojave Desert in California, the California-Nevada border, and I don't know if you've ever been to the desert. It's a fascinating place to go to, quite an unusual place. Hot, obviously, blue skies, and empty, just nothing there. And I remember I was driving in this convertible car that I mentioned, I think, in the last seminar, and I was amazed by the vastness of this place. So I just stopped. I turned off the engine and I got out of the car and closed the door. And what I noticed was the complete absence of sound for miles and miles in every direction, apart from the ticking of the engine as it cooled down and desert heat. Just no sound. And I was intrigued to notice that this complete vacuum, this absence, wasn't in any way weird. It just felt very, 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 very peaceful. Well, I don't know for you where you go that will instantly take you back to that feeling of happiness, relaxation, vibrance, whatever it is. But if you do have a time, do pop it down so we can share it with other people, because actually by talking about times when you felt this way, your mirror neurons will actually start to trigger the state in other people, even if they have never been horse riding and dressaging Lucy. It doesn't really matter. they'll hear something, even if I'm speaking about it. They'll see something, hear something about what would that be like, and maybe it'll take them on a little journey either to imagine what that would be like, or something for them that is very close to them. But think about how much of the time do you spend connecting with great memories, great anticipations of the future, compared to not so good ones. And maybe that could be a real gift for you, to be in the present in a different way as a result. So we're going to close the seminar in a minute. I'm just going to check in, if I can, one more time and see if there's anything else I need to answer. Oh, we go. We've got some things here. We've got Claire saying scuba diving in the Maldives. Sounds great. Walking on the beach in Montauk with lots of monarch butterflies. Fabulous. Oh, there's a question from Vicky. Friends are reporting being afraid of the outside world. I've reframed it with them, but is there more I can do? Well, the first thing really is to, of course, ask them if they do want to feel differently about it. At the moment, there is some benefit in people having a bit of concern and caution about the outside world, because it may keep them inside, which is what needs to happen at the moment. But maybe their focus needs to be more on, when this is over, life's going to return back to normal. Things are not going to be that different. There may be some interesting changes. I mean, all the online stuff. Who's noticed they probably connected more with their friends in the last few weeks than they normally would on an evening. So there will be some changes, but fundamentally life will improve and return. There'll be other changes, like, you know, the environment will probably be in a much better state as a result of people not flying anywhere, not driving anywhere. I live near the M25. It's empty at the moment. It's quite amazing. So taking yourself into the future and connecting with, you know, this is going to be okay. It's going to be all right. There may be a few bumps in the road, but you know, even if we look at the virus, it sadly will affect some people severely, but mostly not. You know, mostly it will be a bad cold, a bad fever, or a mild one. You know, Prince Charles, bless him, he was isolated for 7 days. He's okay. Boris Johnson's still on TV. You know, many people will just weather this quite easily. It is concerning about the people that it will affect more severely, but that is going to be a much smaller percentage than the people who just don't even know they've had it. So, final thoughts. Let's have a quick look. See if there's any further questions before we close. Excellent. Some good things that people remember. Scottish dancing from Eleanor. Stargazing when everyone else is in bed. Watching the dippers diving in the river by our house. Wow. On a beautiful white, fluffy white slope on a mountainside with sun and wind, skiing at my own pace and looking at the big sky, stars and Colorado mountains, the hugeness of it all. Excellent. Very good. So I really recommend you spend some time reconnecting with those, spending as much time as you need. You know, we've all got a bit of time on our hands at the moment. It will be more useful to dive into these great experiences. It will boost our health, make us feel grateful for what we have, and bring us anew to every moment. So we'll be running another one of these. It may well be next Tuesday. I need to look at my diary, my crazy busy diary where I'm out all the time, obviously not. It'd be great to have you on the call there. I'll send you messages about it. If you have any further comments, please drop them at the bottom. It'd be lovely to hear what you make of this, or if you want me to talk about anything specific next time. Until then, great to see you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.